Okay, so virtual homeschool co-op assignment number 2. How do you handle the negative comments or the naysayers? We've been homeschooling now for 8 years, so most of the people that know us, we just don't get the comments anymore. But when we first started, we did get a lot of questions. When we started, my oldest was 6, and so we had 5 children ages 6 and under. And I remember just getting questioned all the time, like, how are you going to be able to meet his needs? And I was like, in first grade, I think we'll be okay. But today, the biggest question that I get is, how do you homeschool all the children and find time to fit the needs of each specific one? And my number one answer that I always just come back to is that, by God's grace. And it is chaotic some days, and but still, in the midst of our chaos, I kind of feel like it's probably a little more structured than a regular classroom. So, just kind of give people grace when they do ask questions, because a lot of people truly are curious. There are those that might be spiteful and just kind of belittle you and thinking that you're not qualified to teach your kids, so who do you think you are? Type comments. And when those come up, I simply just say, we're doing what we think is best for our family, and homeschooling may not be for everyone, but it is what God is allowing us to do with our family right now. So as long as He continues to provide, then we're going to continue homeschooling. So for those of you that are new to homeschooling, when the naysayers come and when the negative comments come up, and when people do question you, what about socialization, and what about, do you have a teaching degree? What about your qualifications to be their teacher? Those are going to come, and just don't let them discourage you. Just, simply answer them with grace and with patience. Because people, like I said, a lot of people really genuinely might be curious, and they just are baffled at how homeschoolers are able to make it work. So that was it. That's my advice, short and sweet. God has given me I have learned through the years to be gracious with my answers. When we first started homeschooling, I was very robust and passionate about it. And why are you homeschooling? And I was like, well, why aren't you homeschooling? This is what we need to be doing. And I feel like this is what we need to be doing, but not necessarily what all families need to be doing. Because your family is different from my family, and what God has planned for my family is not the same as what He has planned for your family. So I have learned to hold my tongue, and over the last 8 years, I have grown in wisdom in my responses. So just simply saying, this is what we feel is best for our family, and that's how we choose to handle it. So that is it, short and sweet, for virtual homeschool co-op assignment number 2. To get the link up for everyone else's response and some advice on how they handle the negative comments, you can go to virtualhomeschoolcoop.com, and there will be a link up for this week's assignments. If you are a YouTuber or a blogger and you would like to join the link up, there's instructions on that website as well on how to do it. It's a great community where we can kind of all come together and lend advice and encouragement to one another. So thanks so much for watching. Bye.